4 now. Just on top of Jaylen Brown, who we're saying had such a great breakout year and should have been in conversation for most improved player of the year, wasn't in conversation. He wasn't in that conversation because there was only one player in that conversation. Consistently throughout the year last year, our number 4th ranked small forward, we have Brandon Ingram. Like, I knew the potential was there for him to turn into a star, but he finally turned into it.
Yeah, and I mean his points per game did go down a bit throughout the year, but yeah, I mean this
Still
guy,
ended up almost 24, 23.8. Like, that's amazing. That's
yeah, I mean
top 10 in the league?
yeah, and this guy who came out the gate just blazing with a point to prove the second he arrived in New Orleans. I mean, he shows up there. He
Talk to you, Lakers.
exactly shows up right away, puts up 27 per game in his first month there. Yeah, we haven't seen what he could do obviously in the clutch yet, but he's going to have a lot of chances to prove it. Was already third in points last year among all small forwards, with 7th in assists. He was second in turnovers, small forwards. It went with the assist to
Yeah.
turnover ratio of 1.2. It's not that great, but it's something too where you're so young, it's going to get better. I'm not worried about that honestly either.
And as a team, kind of the chemistry built in New Orleans, that team's going to be there for a long time. Zion didn't play last year. A lot of people shit on Zion, but I see Brandon Ingram as a very, very nice compliment to Zion, or Zion as a very nice compliment to Brandon Ingram. I think they're both going to be very similar echelon players in this league. But Brandon Ingram is the guy who's going to be able to hit that 3-pointer consistently. People are going to have to double team Zion in the post a lot because he does play a lot of bully ball. It's going to open up a lot, even more shots for Brandon Ingram to open up, even increase his efficiency, which is crazy to say because he still shoots over 39% from 3-pointers. Brandon Ingram is a guy who we're going to see consistently in that 23 to 26 point per game to 25 point per game range for the rest of his career over probably the next 10 years. He essentially, to me, made a jump similar to when Paul George made a jump a couple years back, where he went from being, yeah, he's a really good player. He could maybe be a star. He can probably be an all-star one day. Now it's like, no, he's a perennial all-star. He's nowhere near the player defensively as George is, which is where he has to really improve as well if he wants to be considered in that top 3 conversation. But if we're talking offensively, he belongs in that top 3 conversation.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. If we're talking offensively, absolutely he belongs in the top three. It's just like you said, he rounded out the game. But even then, like like for example in October, well, going back to it, this is a guy who put up 26 and 8.5 on 50% shooting from three in October through 5 games. If he could put up any playoff series, just even one time of that, like everyone's going to be on the Brandon Ingram hype train. So that's something where we know when Brandon Ingram gets hot, he can ride it pretty good. And like you said, when guys are down low, double teaming Zion, you can't double team two guys. So when you're
That's
able to
just it. What are you
Brandon,
going to do?
exactly, when you have Brandon Ingram on a hot night, and he's already put up 30 in the first half. Like I said, what are you going to do? You're going to have to shift on him, and then Zion's going to be open, and it's just they're a double-headed nightmare in that regard. It's just if Ingram can improve defensively, they're a full force, just nightmare at both ends. Zion, obviously, we know he has the ability to do that. Brandon Ingram, the fact that he was most improved player shows that he's able to get in the gym to do the things he needs to improve. And I think playing with guys like Zion every day in the gym, even a guy like Lonzo Ball, who's kind of tricky, such a good playmaker, it's going to give Ingram a lot
Ball's
better.
a good defensive player.
Yeah, so I think that's going to help Ingram improve a lot too on that end. So overall, I don't think it's something long term we're going to worry about. It's just something that prevents him in the short term, like you said, from moving into the top three.
But some of the players on top are getting older. Ingram's young. He's only 22 years old. He's going to be 23 years old next year. He is
Exactly.
so young. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Him and
He's
Jalen
younger
Brown
than Jalen
both.
Brown.
Yeah.
The same age, I think.
Same draft, but I think Ingram's younger.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So like that being said, his year last year was he actually was going down in points per game every month,
Yeah.
which is incredible because he still put up 24 and a half in February. If
Yep.
we're talking after March, which was only about 12, 13 games, and then he's putting up 24 and a half, 25 points per game. And then we're having an even different conversation. He's got to keep putting that up consistently. He was very, very close to doing it this year. I'm saying that, but his worst month would still have been better than his career numbers. That is pretty damn consistent at this point.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, when was Zion's debut? Like I know he didn't play opening night, right?
No, he played? I believe he played in January.
in January. So yeah, I mean, even if we look at his stats from January, February, like they were still good. It's really when Zion was gone for good that Ingram really went down. But again, when there's other weapons around to distract the defense too and not worry about it, the guy can't be stopped.
No, and he's going to keep playing in that position for New Orleans. He every single day is going to prove to the Lakers that they should have kept him. He's going to get up to that level. He might not ever be that level, but he is that good of a player that he's going to offensively. He's going to be one of the best through his whole career.
I mean, with that said, people right now are probably going to be like, there's no way. I feel like people forget how highly touted Kyle Kuzma was 2 years ago. I don't know what went wrong with Kyle Kuzma last year where everyone hates him. I know the playoffs was a bit bad, but in terms of how much hate he was getting, because again, Kyle Kuzma the year before and 2 years before that, he was like the Lakers' kind of big.
Oh, the real conversation: who is better than Brandon Ingram?
Yeah, it was Kuzma or Ingram. They picked Kuzma, and they shouldn't have. Like you said, if they had Ingram right now, and they had Harold, and they had Davis, they had James, like it wouldn't even be. It's pretty much already not a question is if we should even play for a champion or not. If they had Ingram as well, it wouldn't be a question.
But he's over in New Orleans, and he's proving us all wrong. He's going to keep doing it over there. He's doing a really good. As the other players age out, it might move up, but unless one of these players ages out, or has an injury, or Brandon Ingram improves tremendously on defense, it's probably not on the level of these guys.
Yeah.
So with that being said, over at number 3, cracking our top 3 of small forward